A sunny day in the center of Brussels. For years, authorities here have been combating an epidemic of extremist literature. We set out to find how easy it still is to access these texts. Using an undercover camera, we visited a number of bookshops, asking for books we knew espoused violent jihadi ideology. This man stammers nervously before telling me he doesn't have them in, but knows where to find them. Saint-Josse, he says, a small district in the north of Brussels. We head to Saint-Josse. Another bookshop, another stammered answer. We're directed to the center of town, back to the first shop. It's starting to feel like we're being given the runaround.
So 11 years ago,
Hint Frehi knows these bookshops all too well.
several bookstores in Brussels.
10 years ago, the researcher visited many of them undercover to expose the extremist literature openly for sale. After she published her findings, she found herself at the center of a whirlwind of recrimination, criticism, and threats.
The mayor, the police, the secret services, they all said it was too sensational, that I exaggerated. My conclusions were based on, well, just street talks. So they didn't take me serious, and they didn't take the young people at street seriously.
The buying and swapping of the books is itself part of the radicalization, seen as evidence of commitment, that the ideology is taking hold. Armed with the titles and the publishing houses, we don't have to search much further. Through online bookshops, in Belgium, extremist literature is delivered right to your front door. We're not disclosing the names of these books, but these are amongst the extremist texts being found in the homes and hideouts of suspected militants. They're essentially Jihadi 101s. The language in here is horrifying, justifying the targeting of Jews, the conscription of children, and matter-of-fact statements that it's every Muslim's responsibility to bear arms. These are key ISIS tenets. In many European countries, these books are banned. In Belgium, at best, buying these books may attract unwanted attention from the authorities, but the books and their sale is completely legal. Videos like this have grown infamous here. Belgian jihadis exhorting those still at home to join them in Iraq and Syria. Estimates vary, but Belgian security sources calculate the average number of Belgians who have successfully left to join ISIS since the Paris attacks at almost 24. The dramatic capture of the so-called 8th Paris attacker, Saleh Abdeslam, just a street away from his childhood home in Brussels after months on the run. A stark reminder of how hard it's been for Belgian authorities to stay one step ahead of the extremist networks. And the tide of extremist literature bolstering the networks is proving even tougher to quell. If anything, it appears to be even easier to obtain. Naam El Bagher, CNN, Brussels.